One Voice press conference, LA County, LA City together. We have a short presentation today. We're aiming for conciseness. So we're going to start off with the LA County Director of the Office of Emergency Management, Kevin McGowan.
Thank you, Helen. Hi, my name is Kevin McGowan. I'm the Director of the Office of Emergency Management for Los Angeles County. There is an extreme amount of frustration, anger, fear with regards to the erroneous messages that have been being sent out through the wireless emergency alert system across LA County. I can't express enough how sorry I am for this experience. First of all, I want to clarify, this is not human-driven. There is no one sitting at a desk right now initiating emergency alerts. I want to restate that. Right now, as these alerts are being issued, they are not being activated or initiated by a person. This is my top priority. I am working all hands on deck with the Federal Emergency Management Agency's Integrated Public Alert and Warning Team. We have every technical specialist working to resolve this issue and to find the root cause. I implore everyone to not disable the messages on your phone. This is extremely frustrating, painful, and scary, but these alert tools have saved lives during this emergency. Not receiving an alert can be a consequence of life and death. As we continue to work on the root cause, I ask everyone that gets an alert to verify if they are in an evacuation warning or order to go to alertla.org, lacounty.gov/emergency, or dial 211 for assistance. The mapping is accurate on where evacuation warnings and orders exist. Again, this is my top priority. This is the top priority of my partners at the state and at FEMA with the Public Alert and Warning Tool to resolve this issue as quickly as possible and identify the root cause. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. Good morning, everyone. I'm going to make this very short because we've got a full list of people that want to present today. You're going to hear information from our Insurance Commissioner, Ricardo Lara. Thank you for being here, about how residents can get connected to insurance support to recover and rebuild. And I was up in the Alpine area last night, and the common question was, how do I navigate the insurance process, and will I be able to get insured again? And so I felt it was important for us to hear from our insurance commissioner, who's been very engaged on this issue. And then I just want to say to everyone, you know, I've been out and I've heard from my residents, and I think we've all had someone impacted by this fire. I keep saying it, you are not alone. I talk to families that have lost everything, and they don't know where to go. And as the supervisor representing that district, but also as a chair, I speak for this board. We are here to support you, and we will be here for the long road to rebuild. So with that, I'd like to turn it over to Mayor Bass to say a few words.
Thank you, Chair Barger. All of us here are working urgently and around the clock to confront this ongoing firestorm. And when we are on the front lines, when we're in the command posts, when we're in the Emergency Operations Center, we carry with us our friends and neighbors. That is what this fight is all about. It's about those friends, neighbors, and loved ones who have fled their homes, those who have lost their homes, those who have lost their lives. To all Angelinos, we are fighting hard for each of you. So here's our city update responding to this natural disaster. LAFD battled all night on the Palisades fire, the Hearst fire, the Kenneth Fire, and airdrop efforts, thank goodness, continue. LAFD also responded to and extinguished fires in Pacoima, Hollywood, Studio City, and more. I do want to let everyone know that Griffith Park, including Runyon Canyon, will be closed through Sunday. Yesterday, President Biden pledged his full support for response efforts, including FEMA reimbursement 100% of our disaster response costs. FEMA also launched resources and support for Angelenos impacted by these fires. Visit disasterassistance.gov to apply. We have worked with the governor and Sheriff Luna to secure the National Guard, which will back up and free up our firefighters and police officers and play a key role in securing our evacuation zones to keep people safe and to protect against anyone thinking of taking advantage of this tragedy. People from across LA, the nation, and the world are asking how to help. Yesterday, I spoke of the California Community Foundation's Wildlife Recovery Fund, and today I'm grateful to share that within 24 hours, they have raised $2.5 million from 4,000 generous donors. Visit calfund.org. I also mentioned that Airbnb has been working through the 211 online portal to provide free temporary housing. Now, the demand has been extremely high, and Airbnb has increased their commitment to providing emergency assistance for now 25,000 evacuees, first responders, and others impacted by the fires. Visit 211la.org to get connected. With so many homes and businesses lost, we are already putting plans in place to make sure that we aggressively rebuild. My office is leading the city effort to clear the way. Red tape, bureaucracy, all of it must go. This will be an enormous undertaking, but we will be ready for it because we will not rely on the old way of doing things. For this recovery, we will have, like we have done in other areas, we shake up the system and move forward with new strategies and policies. I don't believe that there is anything that Angelenos cannot do if we stand together. Thank you. Now I'd like to introduce LA County's 3rd District Supervisor, Lindsay Horvath.
Good morning. I want to first start by thanking our first responders who were focused in the Topanga region yesterday and responded swiftly to the Kenneth Fire. Incredible action from firefighters who are giving multiple fires absolutely everything they've got. Initial reports led our department to serious concerns, but we have the absolute best, most experienced teams leading our efforts, and even with the most challenging circumstances and terrain, they have been able to deliver. Next, I want to express my deep frustration with the alert system that is causing confusion and additional panic for our communities at this time of extreme crisis. Whatever the cause, it is unacceptable, and it is being addressed now by the county's Office of Emergency Management, as Director McGowan described. We'll be investigating what happened, how, and why at every level in our exhaustive after-action process to ensure it is corrected. There is a reason why we have redundancies in our communication system. Crises require them. Please sign up for alertla.org, visit emergency.lacounty.gov, and tune into local radio and TV. Our LA media partners have done an incredible job getting the word out, and it's why we hold these press briefings. In terms of overnight updates in the communities I represent, we had a small brush fire of under 5 acres in Pacoima that the fire department knocked out quickly, and we thank them for their bravery and their swift action. The fires continue to have air quality impacts throughout the Los Angeles County region. A smoke advisory has been extended through Friday. To limit exposure, please remain indoors as much as possible, avoid outdoor physical activity, and run your air conditioner or air purifier if you have one. The Department of Public Health's Chief Deputy, Dr. Anish Mahajan, is here and can help answer questions about air quality. The strength and resolve of Los Angeles County residents, as well as our extraordinary first responders from every level of government, as well as our private citizens from across the country and right here in our own county, will be the way we get through this unimaginable tragedy. Thank you. I'd now like to welcome up LA County Fire Chief Anthony Maroney.
Thank you, Supervisor. So good morning. The Eaton Fire, current estimated acreage, 13,956 acres with 3% containment. We still have 4,000 to 5,000 structures that may be damaged or destroyed. Once we do our damage inspection reports, we'll get a more accurate number for you. We currently have 1,527 firefighting personnel remaining assigned to this incident. The LA County Fire Department is in unified command with the U.S. Forest Service, the LA County Sheriffs, along with the Pasadena, Arcadia, Sierra Madre Fire Departments, and the Pasadena Police Department. Yesterday afternoon, the fire in the Eaton Canyon did make a push towards historic Mount Wilson. This observatory is okay thanks to the efforts of the firefighters and observatory staff, and no buildings have been destroyed at Mount Wilson. A firefighter did suffer a significant fall injury yesterday at the Eaton fire. He remains hospitalized. He's resting comfortably, and he's in stable condition and expected to make a full recovery. The cause of the fire remains unknown, and we will advise the media once we get the cause determined. We are appreciative to our many mutual aid partners from out of state for providing assistance to Los Angeles County in our time of need. Thanks to the increased number of resources assigned, the region is in a much better posture than we were earlier this week. And I have been advised that mutual aid resources from Canada are arriving now. The National Weather Service predicts that the red flag will continue through Friday, or continue today through 6 p.m. However, our priority is also going to be to prepare for the next red flag event that is predicted to begin on Monday. I would also like to provide a brief update on the Kenneth fire that erupted yesterday near the Victory Trailhead at the border of Ventura and Los Angeles counties. Thanks to the quick action of first responders and aerial assets, the fire has been stopped. It's currently at 1,000 acres. We have 35% containment, and no structures are reported damaged or destroyed. One important topic I want to talk about is that we did have a drone incursion yesterday at the Palisades fire. Unknown exactly what time this small drone hit the wing of our CL-415 Super Scooper aircraft that we currently have on contract from the province of Quebec. The pilots were unaware that they hit the drone. It wasn't until they landed at Van Nuys Airport that the maintenance staff noticed that there was a fist-sized hole in the leading edge of the wing inboard of the landing light. That Super Scooper will be prioritized for repair 24/7. It should be flying Monday. We only have 2 of them. Everyone should know, all of your viewers, flying a drone in the fire traffic area is not only dangerous, but it's illegal. We do have our federal partners behind the scenes are going to be implementing procedures to be able to follow drones in our 2 large fire areas, and they will be able to identify who the operator of that drone is. The most important thing to know is that if you fly a drone at one of these brush fires, all aerial operations will be shut down. Before and Horvath for their unwavering support and leadership, I would also like to acknowledge the tireless efforts of first responders who continue to place themselves in harm's way to protect our residents and property. Thank you. I would now like to bring up Fire Chief Kristen Crowley of the Los Angeles City Fire Department.
Thank you, Chief Maroney. So I'll just be providing a brief update of the overnight operations of our fires. So Palisades fires. This fire was currently tracked at 20,438 acres with 3,073 personnel assigned. Crews worked very, very hard overnight, strengthening our containment lines and addressing multiple spot fires in and around the Topanga Canyon area. Resources responded to the area, included our air assets to aid in the containment efforts. Due to the favorable overnight weather conditions and the diligent, and I'll focus on the diligent work and effort and commitment of our first responders, we can report that the Palisades fire is now 8% contained. Wind gusts are expected to increase in daylight hours that will test our containment lines. Our firefighters will continue to respond to any flare-ups and increase our containment lines. Evacuation orders remain in place. The Hearst fire, due to more accurate mapping and acreage, has been updated to 771 acres with 37% containment. All evacuation orders and warnings have been lifted. The Kenneth fire, forward progress has been stopped with 35% containment at 1,000 acres. All evacuation orders and warnings within Los Angeles City have been lifted. I personally want to make sure that we thank and show our deepest gratitude to all of our Los Angeles City firefighters and all of our partners as we've been battling these fires for now. We're going into day 4. Thank you to LAPD for assisting us in keeping our communities safe. And lastly, thank you to all of the agencies who have come to aid during this time of help, and it absolutely does not go unnoticed. Thank you.
Yeah, now Sheriff Robert Luna. Thank you, Sheriff.
Good morning to everybody. This morning we have well over 500 LA County deputies that are assisting continuous with evacuations, traffic control, security patrols, and other humanitarian efforts. They're out there. I hear people calling me. They see a lot of black and white police cars rolling with lights and siren. They're out there working. That's what they're doing. They've been actively patrolling the evacuated areas and are increasing their presence to deter any burglary or looting activity that may occur. Just to summarize on evacuations for all the fires that we're dealing with, evacuations orders stand at approximately 153,000 residents that are under evacuation orders and approximately 57,830 structures at risk, and then evacuation warnings, approximately 166,800 residents under both warnings, or I'm sorry, those are just specifically for warnings. What I want to go to next, and we started talking about this last night, is a curfew. A curfew order has been established for the Palisades and Eaton fire areas in all mandatory evacuation zones. That will be in effect. It was in effect last night, and it's going to be in effect tonight at 6 p.m. So it ended at 6 a.m. this morning, will take effect again until 6 p.m. I'm emphasizing that to our media partners because part of this is communicating to the public. You cannot be in these affected areas. If you are subject to arrest. That is important. We're not doing this to inconvenience anybody. We're doing it to protect the structures, the houses that people have left because we ordered them to leave, and I want them to feel confident that we are doing everything we can to secure that. This curfew will be strictly enforced and is being taken to enhance public safety, protect property, and prevent any burglaries or looting in the area that the residents have evacuated. The only people that will be allowed in these areas are disaster workers, okay? I just want to make that clear because we have other people trying to get in there. And by the way, media partners who have legitimate media credentials, yes, you may enter those areas unless it's very, very unsafe and somebody tells you not to for that reason. Again, just specifically, anyone found in violation of this curfew will be subject to arrest for a misdemeanor offense under LA County Code Section 2.68320, and conviction may result in a fine up to $1,000 or jail time. And I'm telling you right now, I know people talk about no bail, and I've given direction that if somebody's caught doing this, they are not going to get cited and released. They're going to get booked. We are not screwing around with this. We don't want anyone taking advantage of our residents that have already been victimized. The National Guard deployment. As many of you are aware, we asked for the National Guard. I'm very thankful to Governor Newsom and the State Office of Emergency Services that fulfilled that request. As of last night, we've had National Guardsmen assisting us. They arrived last night and deployed to the Eaton Fire area, and were assisting with road closures and critical infrastructure protection. As additional Guard personnel arrive, and they will be in the next 12 to 24 hours, the Sheriff's Department will strategically coordinate their deployment with other partners such as the Los Angeles Police Department, Pasadena Police Department, Santa Monica Police Department, Azusa, and Arcadia. Those are the requests we have now. That may grow. We'll adjust as time goes on. I want to make sure that if anybody needs updated information on either evacuation orders or warnings or road closures, they go to lacounty.gov/emergency. And with that, I am going to be introducing Assistant Chief Dominic Choi from the Los Angeles Police Department.
All right. Good morning. On behalf of the Los Angeles Police Department, I just want to extend our deepest sympathies to all those affected by our fires, and that includes many of our own LAPD officers who've lost homes and property in this fire, and they continue to serve these communities, and I appreciate all their work. I have a number of important updates for all of you today, and I'm going to start by an arrest that was made late yesterday afternoon. So yesterday afternoon, the Kenneth Fire started at the border of West Hills in the city of Los Angeles and Ventura County. At 4:32 p.m., we received a 911 call that a suspect was attempting to light a fire in the community of Woodland Hills and was being detained by residents. Officers from LAPD's Topanga area responded and took that suspect into custody. And once we learned that this suspect was a possible arson suspect, our Major Crimes Division responded to Topanga Division along with Ventura County sheriffs, who was the lead in the Kenneth Fire investigation. But they responded, they interviewed this suspect. After the interview and additional investigative steps, looking at some additional evidence that was present, they made the determination that there was not enough probable cause to arrest this person on arson or suspicion of arson, and therefore this person was arrested on a felony probation violation. This investigation is ongoing, however, and I'd like to thank those community members that were involved in this and helping us bring this person to our attention, and so we can have an ongoing investigation. The second point I want to talk about is for any of those people looking for loved ones or missing people related specifically to the Palisades fire. Now, the county is also doing this for the Eaton fire, but for the city of Los Angeles, we've stood up a family assistance center. This center is located at Chevy Hills Recreation Center, and it's at 2551 Motor Avenue. It's going to be open today from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and tomorrow from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. We will have 10 officers there ready to receive anyone who needs to report a missing person related to the Palisades fire. We will also have the American Red Cross, the Mayor's Crisis Response Team, the LA County Medical Examiner's Office, and the LA County Department of Mental Health. They will be there to help support, answer questions, and provide information as necessary. Again, I just want to emphasize this is for missing people related to Palisades fire. This is not for any other issues related to the fire. LAPD and our law enforcement partners are actively maintaining law and order in the areas impacted by the fires. We're patrolling these areas to deter criminal activity and to continue to ensure public safety. Today, we're deploying 210 officers in these impacted areas. This deployment includes our partners from LA Port PD and LAWA PD, and I'm thankful for their support. Again, protecting our homes, businesses, and evacuated and vulnerable zones are our priority, and we will continue to ensure that no one takes advantage of these situations. You've heard this message before, but I'm going to say it again because it's so important and so critical. Looting has zero tolerance. Looting or exploiting in the disaster areas will not be tolerated. Anybody caught looting or committing crimes in the affected areas will be arrested and prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. We'll remain vigilant and patrol these areas and ensure that we can mitigate any activity like this. And again, if you haven't already done so, you will start seeing in the city of Los Angeles the National Guard being deployed at the Palisades fire. Their role is going to be traffic control, managing roadways to ensure access to affected areas is restricted to authorized personnel only. They're going to be manning critical infrastructure security, as well as doing checkpoints and verifying credentials for those for ingress and egress. And lastly, these measures controlling access, they are necessary. I just want the communities to know they are necessary for public safety and for proper community recovery. They are inconvenience, but it's something that we have to do. Residents are encouraged to call 911 if they see any suspicious activity. Law enforcement, National Guard, and other first responders are here to support this community and ensure their safety in a difficult time. Our commitment remains steadfast to restoring safety and normalcy as quickly as possible. Your cooperation and resilience from the community are greatly appreciated. Thank you. And at this time, I'd like to introduce Los Angeles County District Attorney Nathan Hochman.
Thank you and good morning. The District Attorney's Office will be considering up to now 5 different types of cases that will eventually be presented from law enforcement. Let's start with arson. If it is determined that there is a man-made and intentional setting of any of the fires involved in this situation, the people who committed this arson will be arrested, they will be prosecuted, and they will be punished to the full extent of the law. Right now, obviously, law enforcement and the firefighters are focused on containing these properties, saving lives, saving homes. But eventually we will get to the causes of those fires, and in that part the DA's office will be working with law enforcement to go after anyone who is guilty of the crime of arson. Second types of crimes. If people are going to violate this curfew restriction and they get arrested, they will be prosecuted. Let me back up what the sheriff has said. In order to protect the homes of people who've been ordered to leave those homes, the sheriff, the Los Angeles Police Department, and local law enforcement is going to be working overtime to protect your home. In that way, if you violate the curfew, you will be arrested and then you will be prosecuted by the district attorney's office. Third issue, looting. Looting is a despicable crime. For the people who've already been arrested, please know that this is not going to end well. You will be punished to the full extent of the law, and I'm sending this warning message out again. If you want to go ahead and take advantage of people who have tragically suffered enormous losses in this county, the district attorney's office, working with law enforcement, will make sure you are arrested, you are prosecuted, and you are maximally punished. Drones. If you're thinking that it's fun to send a drone up in the area for your own amusement, or you want to get information that nobody else can get, and you do it in one of these areas for which drones are not permitted, I'll repeat one more time. You will be arrested, you will be prosecuted, and you will be punished to the full extent of the law. And the last type of crime that we'll be looking at are scams, and we're already seeing them. We're seeing people being targeted in GoFundMe scams by people who are trying to entice people to give money to people who have suffered, when the people who are arranging this GoFundMe page are nothing but scammers. You must be aware of who you are being approached by and who you actually can go ahead and give your money to if you want to help them. We're going to see that eventually with insurance scams. We'll see it with government benefit scams. And yes, they are going to target the people who have been tragically affected, and you cannot allow them to do it. I would suggest that if you want internet resources and who to give money to, go to recovery.lacounty.gov. It has a whole list of organizations that you can, if you want to, contribute to. And it does it in both English and Spanish. Also, you can go to the LAFD.gov's website as well. But my message to the public is beware. These scammers look at this as an opportunity. Do not let them take advantage of you. And one more message to the scammers: you will be arrested, you will be prosecuted, and you will be punished to the maximum extent possible. I'd like now to introduce California Insurance Commissioner Ricardo Lara.
Thank you, Before I begin, I want to publicly thank the insurance commissioners from across the nation and the international insurance supervisors who have offered assistance and support during this difficult time. My heart goes out to my fellow Angelenos and to the firefighters currently battling these blazes. Let me be clear, my top priority is to protect all affected people during this crisis and assist in their insurance recovery. My primary concern at this very moment is to ensure that wildfire survivors receive the insurance benefits to which they are entitled to as soon as possible. I understand that this may be new and the extent of the calamity here in Southern California and compounded by the insurance and financial stresses that these wildfires have caused. However, at the Department of Insurance, we have been confronting wildfires and other natural disasters throughout our entire state for a very long time, making us, unfortunately, response experts. Now is the time for you to focus on your family and on your health. The last thing you should be worrying about is your insurance. Here's what I've done to protect our wildfire victims to date. I am using my moratorium power to stop all non-renewals and cancellations. Last night, I issued a bulletin to protect homeowners affected by the Palisades and Eaton fires from non-renewals and cancellations by your insurance companies for 1 year, under a moratorium law that I wrote while I was serving in the state Senate. This covers you even if your home wasn't destroyed or damaged in the wildfire. You can visit insurance.ca.gov to look up your zip code if you are near these wildfires and obtain that protection. I'm also calling on insurance companies to suspend any pending non-renewals and cancellations that homeowners received before these fires started. This means that if you've received a non-renewal from your homeowner's insurance between October 9th and January 7th, essentially 90 days, your insurance company should do the right thing and retain you as a valued policyholder. I call upon all property insurance companies to pause these non-renewals and cancellations and provide essential stability for our communities, allowing consumers to focus on what's important at the moment, their safety and recovery. In my notice, I also urged insurers to extend the payment grace period beyond the existing 60 days for policyholders in areas directly affected by the wildfires, enabling Angelenos to pay their home insurance premiums amidst the challenges that they are currently facing. And if your policy was not renewed or if you don't have coverage, please call us at 1-800-927-4357. We can help you find additional solutions. I have also directed my department's enforcement team to protect Angelenos from fraudsters targeting wildfire survivors and to assist with the ongoing evacuation efforts. My department has moved quickly to host an insurance support workshop on January 18th and 19th at Santa Monica College, followed by another event the following weekend at Pasadena City College. We will have experts from our staff and representatives from insurance companies available so homeowners can obtain answers and take the action they need in one convenient location. Again, call us at 1-800-927-4357 to schedule a one-on-one appointment with our experts. Related to health, I've issued an additional notice to all California health insurers directing them to submit emergency plans to my department. These plans must detail how they're going to ensure that consumers can continue to access essential medical care and obtain their medications in the wake of these disasters. I've been in constant communication with our county leaders, governor, the legislative leaders, and our congressional delegation to identify best ways to expedite our recovery, reduce wildfire risk, and build a more climate-resilient state and communities. Making homes and communities safer from wildfires needs to be a top priority for our state. Looking forward, I'm going to ask the governor and the state legislature to support my proposal to provide consumers with home hardening grants. We need to put money in people's hands. This measure is critical to protecting homes and improving long-term resilience against wildfire risk. We are also going to be introducing legislation to include businesses in our moratorium law. Businesses are an important consumer of insurance and the financial backbone of many communities, and they also need this vital protection. Newly elected insurance reforms are now in effect to make insurance rates more stable and predictable. My sustainable insurance strategy mandates that insurance companies expand and maintain coverage in high wildfire areas if they are going to use forward-looking catastrophic models and incorporate the reinsurance cost in the rate making, which my department just finalized in December. Why is this important for our residents? It ensures that Californians in wildfire-prone areas retain access to insurance and brings competition back into the market and ultimately lowering the cost. Without these measures, insurance companies may continue non-renewals, leaving communities at greater risk of underinsurance and total loss of coverage. Even with these devastating wildfires, I want to be clear, I am confident that these reforms will keep us on track to modernizing our insurance market, encourage insurers to return and expand in California, and protect the solvency of our market. We remain the largest insurance market in the nation, fourth in the world. Our goal is to ensure they remain financially solvent and can honor the claim that will stabilize our insurance market in the long run. Now, let me just quickly address issues surrounding the insurer of last resort, which we call the FAIR Plan. It has become clear that reforms are necessary as the coverage maximums have not changed in 30 years. I recognize that for some Californians, the coverage limits, even the ones that we've already implemented, are still very low. Under my strategy, we have also ensured the creation of a stronger, more sustainable FAIR Plan with the long-term financial strategy to withstand the challenging fires we are experiencing today. Let me be clear, once the fires are brought under control, we will get data directly from the insurance industry and the FAIR Plan about claims filed, as we have on all the other fires that may or may not happen. We are focused on maintaining the FAIR Plan's financial health while getting people back to the regular market where they belong. In closing, our actions are focused on ensuring that the insurance companies meet their commitments to the consumers, that Californians are protected, not just in this crisis, but beyond. We are here to help. Please call us. We speak multiple languages in whatever language you feel comfortable. Insurance can be complicated. We are here to help you decipher your policy and help you understand what your rights are as consumers. Please call us at 1-800-927-4357, or you can use our live chat feature on our website at insurance.ca.gov. Together, we will get through this, I can assure you, and thank you.
LA County Assessor Jeff Prang.
Good morning. Right now, government is very focused on bringing these fires under control, but in the coming days, the focus will return to recovery. Initial reports suggest that 10,000 properties have been damaged or destroyed, with hundreds more likely to be discovered in the coming days. I appreciate that property taxes are not high on the list of things to worry about right now, as so many are focused on housing and safety, but financial issues will soon become a major issue for the victims of the fires. Under California law, if your property, your home or your business has been damaged or destroyed, you may qualify for property tax relief under the Misfortune and Calamity Program. This program allows my office to reduce your assessed value of your property, which is what your taxes are based upon, to reflect the damage. Here are the key details. To qualify, the damage needs to exceed $10,000, and you must file a claim within 12 months. Once filed, we will investigate and verify the claim, determine the cost to cure, and then reduce the assessed value effective the date of the damage occurred. The reduction remains in place until the property is repaired, rebuilt, or undergoes a change in ownership. It does seem clear that we may need legislative help to ensure maximum benefits to victims, and I'm glad some legislators are here today. We look forward to talking to them about making some of those fixes. The filing of this claim also facilitates coordination with the Treasurer Tax Collector's Office, allowing taxpayers who pay property taxes directly, that is not through an impound account with their mortgage lender, to defer their current year property taxes without incurring penalties or interest. We are working closely with our county partners to identify impacted properties and will assist homeowners and businesses through every step of this process. For all claims, we aim to do that, process them as quickly as possible. Once the tax roll is updated, the auditor controller will recalculate the taxes. If you're due a refund, it will be issued, or if taxes remain owed, an adjusted bill with new due dates will be sent. My staff, who's here, has handouts with a lot of the information, these programs detailed. I did want to also emphasize that you should not pay anybody to access these services. My office provides them all for free, and we can be reached at assessor.lacounty.gov or at 213-974-3211. Thank you.
Thank you. U.S. Fire Administrator Dr. Lori Moore Merrill.
Good morning. Thank you. FEMA and the U.S. Fire Administration remains on the ground to support the response. Has committed to cover cost associated with these fires at 100% for 180 days. For those who are affected and individual assistance, you can go to disasterassistance.gov, or if you prefer, to call someone, speak to someone directly. It is 1-800-621-3362. Our hearts remain with those who are affected, and certainly with the firefighters who continue the fight on the front lines. Helen, I'll turn it back to you.
Closing remarks by Chair Barker.
Thank you. In closing, I just have to say that this is called One Voice, and it's One Voice because while it's focused on unincorporated Altadena and I know Palisades and Pasadena, we're working with our state and our federal partners to ensure that we are providing all the resources necessary. So I want to acknowledge people that are here today. Supervisor Holly Mitchell, our colleague who's here to support us. Pasadena Mayor Victor Gordo. Santa Monica Mayor Lana Negrete. Assemblymember Jess Gabriel. And Assemblymember Jessica Caloza, who are here. Did I miss anybody? I think that's... So, again, I want to thank you all. And with that, we're going to take maybe one question because I know we've got to run out to Altadena, but go ahead.
Okay, why don't we go? Can we just, Supervisor, I'm so sorry. We'll just get a couple over here. Just 2 or 3. We'll do, by the way, we will do one-on-one interviews afterwards, okay? I will help you get the information you need. Go ahead.
Thank you. My question is for Mayor Bass. Jonathan Migliotti with CBS News. Yesterday, you asked for the public's patience as you assess the response. As you well know, then millions of people receive false alarms. It's been acknowledged here in this room that many may now be deactivating their alerts on their phones. I have heard from many people who are ignoring them altogether. We have red flag warnings still in effect. They will resume again next week. There is no rain in the forecast. What are you doing at this point to earn back people's trust and to make sure these mistakes don't happen again?
Well, first of all, I think that was addressed at the beginning of the press conference by Kevin McGowan.
I would like that from you. I don't. You're the top official here.
So let me just be clear. I am going to spend every moment that I can making sure that I am in as many areas as possible, meeting and talking to residents to see what is needed in the recovery. But I also mentioned that we're moving into recovery mode at the same time, meaning that we want to see the city rebuilt. We want to see Los Angeles come together. Let me finish. We want to see Los Angeles come together.
You are deflecting from the question. You have millions of people here who get these alerts. They are ignoring them. You still have red flag warnings in effect. There is a real threat here. What is your message to your constituents who are losing faith? You started this entire...
I want the residents of Los Angeles region to have faith in what we are doing 24 hours a day. I can say on behalf of our first responders from the fire department, the police department, we are doing everything we can to bring the situation under control, and success has been reported. We know that we're going to have a possible increase in the force of the winds at the beginning of next week, and getting Los Angeles prepared, doing everything we can to save lives. That is our #1 job, to protect people's homes, to protect people's businesses, and to prepare to rebuild Los Angeles in a much better way. We're going to stand united. We're going to stand together, and we are not going to allow politics to interfere, and we're not going to allow people to divide us for political gain. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Bass. One over here.
Bob DeCastro from Good Day LA, Fox 11. Just to follow up on that, because even after yesterday that errant message was sent out to Los Angeles County's some 10 million people, overnight, people were still receiving many messages, and we were even fielding calls from our own newsroom from people as far as San Bernardino that were receiving calls. You have no idea why people are getting these alerts and being startled in the middle of the night when they're already on edge in the Inland Empire. Why has that happened? You have no idea. And you also ask that people verify and get onto a website. Not everybody has the ability to jump on a website when they're panicked to try and figure out whether or not this is an actual alert.
Thank you, and I appreciate the thoughts you're sharing and the question. I would take a second to explain how the alert system works. There's an interface, and you activate that interface with what type of an alert you're going to send, an evacuation order, an evacuation warning, and you identify a geographical area. After you initiate that message package is sent into what is the Integrated Public and Alert Warning System aggregator. That then transitions, I'll call it for lack of better terms, into a cloud that connects with all of our cell service providers. The root cause analysis is trying to establish where along that sequence there is an error going on. And in addition to that, it is important to understand that the cellular phone towers have different reach in how they're activating the message to the cell phone. And so it's a common phenomenon that there's a term called bleed over, where a cell phone that may be in a different jurisdiction or a different area is receiving that message from a cellular tower that may be geographically in a different space. So right now, our number one priority is to establish how we can work with in coordination with our federal and state partners, how we can stop the messages that are going out right now that are not being initiated by a human action, to stop that, and then understand how that occurred so that the tool can still be used for what was identified as like a critical fire weather that we're still in experiencing and will continue to experience.
So can I just follow up on that? The bottom line is we are going to drill down, because I too got the alert. I got 2 alerts, and then I got an alert telling me to disregard the alerts. And, you know, as someone who has communities that are on edge, that are lined up, and I'm sure Mayor Gordo has the same situation going on as well, they're on pins and needles thinking that they're next. So we're drilling down right now, and the way it's described to me is there are towers that are now powering up, and it's up in this cloud. It's kind of like when you send an email and it goes into draft, and then once you hit internet, it gets sent. Similar, but my question is, why can't we turn it off? And the answers we're getting are not satisfying. I'm not making any excuses. It's unacceptable, and it is frustrating because we are asking people to trust us, to believe us when we say evacuate. So if we're going to tell them to evacuate, we better make darn sure we're targeting the right people. So don't think we're taking this lightly. I'm not. And I know that my residents aren't. So I hear you loud and clear. The frustration you're hearing from me is based on the frustration I'm hearing as well from my constituents who are asking, when we get it, is it going to be legitimate? Should we listen or should we ignore or disable altogether? I think that's absolutely ridiculous, and I told Kevin McGowan that. To tell people to go on a website when they may not have access to an internet is absolutely absurd, and that is, quite frankly, not something that I am recommending. Obviously, for those that want to find out where the evacuation centers are, or the evacuation locations are, they can go on there, and it is an accurate map. But I'm not going to tell people, if you get the alert, go on and check. I think that we need to fix this problem so that, in fact, when an alert goes out, it is a legitimate alert that people can listen to. So I hear you. I hear that criticism. I personally, when I heard it, didn't feel that I was going to tell people, well, if you get it, just go on a website. They can, but that's not going to satisfy the frustration that people have. So I just want to make it clear to you.
Thank you, Chair Barger. We are at time. We're over time. Thank you. We will do one-on-ones. If you need assistance, please come see me or a member of the team. Thank you, speakers, again. Thank you all for attending.
Yeah.